You're watching Robbie Fishing. G'day folks, today I'm up at Lake WIlliam Hovell trolling for redfin. I'm going to start off trolling with this little one well lunch. And I'm over on the side of the lake that I don't usually go on, just for something a bit different. I'm directly opposite the boat ramp here at the moment. You can see there's quite a few people over there. I used the petrol motor to get over, and now I'm going to troll with the electric. In my recent Lake Buffalo video, I caught a cod and I shared a short clip, and people were asking why I was trolling with the petrol motor and not the electric motor. Well, one reason is I just wanted to give the petrol motor a go. I'll be using both today for the same reason. But the other reason is my electric motor. In the video I said I had technical issues with my electric motor. What those issues were, if you look down here, you'll see that red cap. There's a red cap on there. That red cap had fallen off. Now I'll just put my camera back on my head. That red cap on that shaft had fallen off. So when I was pushing that little lever down, which adjusts the settings at the back, I wasn't going in all the way and I wasn't able to adjust the angle of the trawling motor. So I had to leave it out until I fixed it. But I found the cap, put it back on, and now it's right to go again. If I was to compare Lake WIlliam Hovell to Lake Buffalo as a fishery, I reckon I'd probably say Lake Buffalo's the better fishery. There's you catch cod in there as well. I'm not going to catch a cod here tonight, and that's okay. I don't really want to see cod in this lake. I'm happy to just leave it as a redfin and trout fishery. I may pick up a trout here, which is less likely in Lake Buffalo. But I think I catch keeper-sized redfin more consistently out of Lake Buffalo than I do Lake WIlliam Hovell. I certainly do catch some nice redfin up here from time to time. Some of the biggest redfin I've ever caught. In fact, my personal best was caught up here. But it's a lot more inconsistent. If I go to Lake Buffalo, I know I've got a better than average chance of catching a feeder redfin, especially this time of year, just after Easter. But up here, I just don't have that same confidence. But I have the knowledge that I might. Whereas up at Lake Buffalo, I have the confidence that I will, if that makes sense. Well, I've just trolled that entire bank and have not had a touch. So I'm going to change tactics. I'm going to go up in the river here. It's going to be quite deep for a little bit until I get a bit up the river a bit. So I'm going to put on this Halco Crazy Deep. Well, I've trawled all this way and I have not even seen a fish. Let's put the underwater camera in. I'll put it in here, just completely random, if the cord's long enough. Oh, look at that, it just made it. I'll put the underwater camera in here. I was going to put it in up there, but I reckon it's going to get shadowed by that hill in the next hour or so. When I get home, I'll check that camera and we can see whether there's any fish down there. Doesn't appear to be. Not hungry ones anyway. Surely I've got to find some fish somewhere up here today. Well, I've trolled for over an hour and haven't had a single touch, so I'm just going to change tactics for a little bit. I'm going to try this little 3cm bullet minnow. I'm just going to cast it round for a while, and then up here in the shallows where the river's running in, and then I'll start trolling back down again. Look at the logs under the water there. Righto, it's quite shallow up here, but I've changed this little Savage Gear diver. It actually dives quite well, this lure, so I'm only just going to put it at the back a little bit like that for now. Then as I get down there further, I'll let more line out and I'll troll my way back to my underwater camera. Right, I'm rigging a second hook on this diving rig. It's like a paternoster rig. I've just put a hook off to the side, and I'm going to put a little Strike Tiger 1.5 inch curl tail grub on there. If you saw my recent Lake Buffalo video, you would have seen that I caught a couple of fish doing this. So basically it's just a normal bait holder hook. It's not a jig head. And I just have that, get this lure out of me pants. Right, so there it is, rigged and ready to go. So as that comes through the water, the diving lure's down the bottom, the soft plastic's just up above it. That was a fish. Dead set, just had me first touch. hiding in there. I see you, duckies. Got him. Finally. Can you believe it? I've just caught more. I was hooked. I'm about to hopefully catch my first fish. It's on the big lure too. He's not a bad fish actually. Oh yeah, he's going straight in the esky. You beauty. I've got to get a photo for my newspaper column. I'm on the board. Finally caught a fish. I've been going for ages. You beauty. First fish in the esky. He's probably 30 centimetres or so. I'll take that any day. Yeah, beauty, I'm on the board and with a keeper. That fish was trolled on this RMG Crazy Deep, or Halco Crazy Deep. I'm going to troll back around this bend again, because I reckon I might have had a bit of a touch over there before too. Well, everything has its downside, including fishing. Losing 2 lures on one snag is never ideal. Righto, I haven't got another Crazy Deep, but what I have got is this little AC Invader. I believe they're a very deep diving lure, so I'll give that a crack. Righto, let's go and grab this underwater camera and scoot out into the main lake. Hopefully it's not too windy out there. Righto, camera. The underwater camera in. I put it in here. Well, the underwater camera didn't see very much in this spot. It didn't have a very good lie. The camera should have been pointing up more. A few things did swim past in the hour and a half that it was there though. Once the debris settled, it was only about a minute or so before the first fish swam past this small redfin, and it was in quite a hurry. If you look really closely, you'll see quite a large fish swimming from the left in the background. I reckon it might be a carp, but you've got to look really closely to see it. About 20 minutes later, this large school of redfin swam past. Unfortunately, the camera's pointing down too much. It should have been pointing up, but you can still see that there's quite a few there. Now you can just make out a large carp swimming by, coming in from the right-hand side. And that was it. That's all that swam past this camera in this spot. Righto, AC Invader. Give that a go for a while. I've just put another battery in my underwater camera, so I'll give that a second to soak. Something's hitting that. Got him. I've got him. I've got one on the... I reckon I've got a little one on the soft plastic. I don't know whether he's... I think he's still there. Must be a tiny one on the soft plastic. He's still there. You can barely feel it move because of the... Oh no, it's on the hard body. Oh, would you look at that? Well, the fish isn't much bigger than the lure. Bigger lures catch bigger fish. It's not always true, but imagine getting 2 at once about 40 centimetres long. I'd have to get that landing net out from under the front of the boat if that happened. That's a fish. That was a definite fish hit that there then. Something's hitting that. Got him. Another tiny one. I don't know whether it's on the plastic or the... Oh, no, still there. I could feel him tapping at it. Unless I'm getting a few runs on the board now. He's on the hard body again. Wow. Look at the size of that. Look at the size of that little redfin. I can't believe they're hitting that instead of the plastic. Trolling, troll hide. Right, if it's not too deep, I'm going to attempt to put my underwater camera in here. If it's not too deep, oh, just made it. I've got a larger lure on to try and catch a larger fish. I reckon it's got to be diving down well over 20-25 feet. So if it's just bouncing off the bottom, then I reckon I'm in the zone. Got him. I've got one. Feels a little bit bigger than the last two that I caught, but still doesn't feel very big. I'll have to leave it in gear just to try and keep my other lure in the water. Problem is I don't want to pull too hard on the fish because it'll pull the hook out of its mouth. It's up near the surface now, but I just can't see it. That's on the plastic. I've got two. I've got two, one on the plastic and one on the diver. Look at that, it's taken me all afternoon to catch three, now I've just caught five. Double release, double hookup, double release. See yous later, mates. Right, I've got the daily double. Well, I've caught 5 fish and I've kept one of them, which was quite a nice fish, so I'm going home happy. Even if I don't catch another fish, I'm going home happy. But the other reason I'm going home happy is because I've actually come up here for another reason. Sunny helped me wire up or extend the cords on my electric trolling motor, because up until my last boating trip, everything was down the back here with me. The heavy battery was right there, fuel tank, motor, the whole lot. Now the heavy battery, it's a 120 amp AGM battery, it weighs so much, I think it's like 40 kilograms or something. It's now way up the front, in front of that black container. That black tub there has got all my safety gear in it, my fire extinguisher, torch, all the stuff that I need, bail, there's a spare life jacket in there. And that weighs a bit on its own, but the heavy battery is up in front of that, right at the front. And we've, you can see the cords running along the side here. And it's worked a treat. Extending those cables has really worked well. I've had no issues at all with the motor today. And the boat is so much better balanced. So today's been a win-win. I caught some fish, which makes it a win. And I'm very, very happy with the modifications that Sunny helped me do. Should I say that Sunny done? I bought all the gear. Sunny pretty much done the whole lot because I'm not very good with handyman stuff and he's a bit of a genius. Doesn't matter whether it's given to me or whether I'm paying for it. Like if I catch a fish and that is I've decided to change to a green colour. I was using a rainbow trout coloured AC Invader. I'm still sticking to the AC Invader. I've got no more of those crazy deeps left, but I've got to admit I'm enjoying using this lure. Let's see if the green one can catch me any. What is that fish? I can see it there on the surface. It's the bloody big carp, I'm pretty sure. Oh, look at them all. I could see a fish there. I spun around and there was about 5 of them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to continue trawling over to my underwater camera. I'll pick that up. I'll start the petrol motor and motor down towards the boat ramp. And then I'll see if I can get another 10 or 15 minutes trolling at the boat ramp before it gets too dark. So trawl back to the underwater camera, scoot back towards the ramp, and then end the night trolling near the ramp, if all goes to plan. The big 50cm redfin might grab my lure now and take my time and completely derail that plan. It was a little one. Got him. It might completely derail that plan, but I'm okay with that. This isn't a 50cm redfin though, I can tell you. I can hear the diver rattling, so I reckon it might be on the plastic. No, it's on the diver again. Oh, actually, I don't think this lure does rattle. Yes, it does. Redfin number 6. See you later, mate. Right, well, I'll start reeling these lines in so that I can pull in that underwater camera. And then I'm going to scoot down the bottom end of the lake. Righto, underwater camera, you've had about an hour. Right, well, that camera was in for 54 minutes. Let's go and end the day trolling down near the car. Now, if you're not a local to this area, you wouldn't know this, but there's a big shallow bit right here in front of me, right out in the middle of the lake. Now, the camera saw more in this spot than it did in the last spot, and it had a better lie too, but the lighting was worse. I was in the shade right from the start, and then as it started to get darker, you'll see a change to the colour on the screen. That's just the white balance of the camera making adjustments to adjust to the changing light. But anyway, here's a bit of a collage of the fish that swam past the camera in this spot. Like I'm miles from the bank, but I'm yeah, there's a fair bit of shallow water right here in front of me. Oh, I'm trolling a Damiki disco for the last little bit. Now, if I hook a fish in a minute and say, well, this is a good one, this is a better one, just don't get too excited. I will, that's my job. I'm using my BFS rod here. It's very, very lightweight. So even a little fish is going to feel bigger than anything else I've caught today. That's a Goulburn Murray water car that just went past. I wonder if they're going to go and kick those campers off the lake. There's big signs up here that say no camping, but people always camp up there. Wouldn't that be a bit rude? Just on sunset, you're kicking back, got your feet up, got your fire going, having a beer, all of a sudden you're asked to leave. I guess that's the risk you take if you want to camp in no camping areas. Got him. Finally. The day has got one more fish in it. It doesn't even feel very big on the BFS rod. If it doesn't feel big on this rod, it's not a big fish. Well, the day did have one more fish left in it. Probably the last redfin for today. See you later, mate. When the fish doesn't feel very big on a BFS outfit, you know it's not a very big fish. Just a touch. Got him. That last one wasn't the last one. This one feels a little bit bigger, but it still doesn't feel very big. I might have to turn around and troll back through there. Just in case there's a bigger one. I'm not sure whether I caught the last two fish on film or not. I'm pretty sure I didn't get that one that I just threw back. That was the biggest one that I've caught on this sunset bite, and I don't think I was filming. Duh. Still wasn't big enough to keep. Oh, I'm just reeling my line in for the last time today, and I've hooked a fish while I was reeling it in. Then I reached up and hit record and turned the camera off. I'm so out of form. I've caught probably half a dozen in this last half an hour or so. I don't know how many of them I've got on film though. But this one's probably the smallest. The last one was a bit bigger. Right, well I'm up on the high ground now. It's time to tie everything down and pack up and head off. I've had an awesome afternoon. The motor, the extension cables to get my battery right at the front here. There's a circuit breaker wire in there. Sonny, you're a legend. Thank you so much for helping me with that. It worked a treat. I caught a few fish as a bonus and I even got a nice one to take home. I couldn't be happier. Thank you all very much for watching.